Imagine this. Instead of controlling one hero in a dangerous world, you're the smart leader of an army, shaping not only your character's journey, but each and every unit under your command. Battle for Diratia is more than your typical role-playing game. It pushes beyond typical RPGs, blending individual heroism with grand strategy. It's not about one hero, it's about the leaders and the art of war. Each game, each battle tells a story, not just of heroes, but of entire armies, their leaders, and the futures they create. As a player, you become not just a hero, but a true leader. With dice and decision, you'll weave strategies, share tales, and create sagas. Let me be honest. If what you want is your game to be a dungeon crawl with a small group of adventurers, this is not the system for you, and there are plenty of other systems that are better suited to your needs. But if you want to be a leader, a general, if you want your decisions to be about how your character is remembered throughout history, then Battle for Diratia is for you. Remember the big leaders of the past, like Alexander, Napoleon, or Hannibal. They weren't alone. Their soldiers followed their smart plans. BFD brings this idea to your game. It's a fresh way to enjoy RPGs. I know some of you might wonder, what if I just want a simple fight? What if leading big groups feels too much? The great part is this game adjusts to you. Want a quick duel? You got it. But if you want to challenge your strategy skills, you can aim higher. Maybe today it's a small fight against thieves, but what about tomorrow? Maybe you're leading an army against dragons and their minions. We've spent the last 3 years designing and refining Battle for Diratia. We've updated and changed the mechanics and adapted, all to make BFD the best game we could. And now we're happy to introduce the beta release. This isn't just an update. It shows our progress and the feedback you've shared. We've enhanced the explanations, added new art, made graphics clearer, and updated the rules. And we've also introduced new equipment. The name Diratia might make you think of a specific world with its history and cultures, but our game is flexible about its settings. The mechanics and strategies can fit into any world you imagine. Still, if you want some guidance, our upcoming campaign books will have rich stories for you. Now, let's step back. How did BFD start? Like many ideas, it began with a problem. I've always loved tabletop games, and I've noticed something missing. Many of you know this feeling. You're deep in a game, and things get intense, and suddenly your party faces a group of hundreds of enemies. The idea is big, but handling such a big RPG fight, it's not easy. Keeping track of every move, every dice roll, every hit point, it gets tedious, time-consuming, and frankly, just unpleasant. I recall one night in the middle of such a fight, we were tired, and I, as the game master, struggled to keep up while the players were bored waiting for their turn. That was the starting point. First, we searched for other RPGs that might work, but we found none. Then, we tried mixing in war games, so alternating between our main RPG and war games for scenes where there were larger battles. But none of these things worked. So our work began. Over the past 3 years, we've been working on this idea. There were countless playtests, late-night brainstorming sessions, and yes, some heated debates. But we always had one goal: to make an RPG where large-scale combat was easy to integrate. Think of Lord of the Rings. Yes, they start as a party of adventurers, but some of them move on to lead armies. BFD is the realization of that dream, connecting strategy with storytelling to let players live out their great adventures. From a challenge to a project of love, this is the essence of Battle for Diratia. Let's dive into the game's philosophy. Every decision we make aims for balance, realism, simplicity, and fun. Balance to enhance the importance of tactical decision. Realism to better immerse players in the game. Simplicity to keep the game approachable. And fun, because is it a game if it's not fun? We didn't want a game full of tiny details that felt boring, but we also didn't want a game too basic that strategy became irrelevant. Our team has met weekly. We talked about the game's rules, how they work. One of the recurring topics was how to avoid exploits in the game. I remember once one of us found a trick to create an invincible unit. We laughed, we saw the mistake, and improved it. It's these moments, these iterative feedback loops, that helped us sculpt the game into what it is today. Most important was focusing on the player choice over chance. Your wins, and yes, your losses, should come from your choices as a leader. The dice add unpredictability, but they shouldn't overshadow the strategies you use. BFD uses a fancy D6 system. A lot of you don't like fancy dice, but trust me when I say these dice add to the experience and could not be replaced with something more interesting. Knowing when to push forwards, when to retreat, and when to execute special tactics makes all the difference. Your team's morale is essential. A discouraged team, even if skilled, is close to losing. We've put much thought into our morale system. We find it a shame that other systems don't focus on this, as a morale has been historically a key to winning or losing. BFD is our gift to both strategy and role-playing. Every decision counts, and every leader can become a legend. The strength of Battle for Diratia is you, the players. While we made the rules, players create stories. Your opinions are so important. Every comment, every critique, they're not just words to us. They're guiding our journey forwards. Yes, we always pay attention to your feedback. A small rule change or mechanic tweak was probably inspired by something you said. Continue sharing your stories and thoughts. In Battle for Diratia, we're all leaders in shaping the game. Now, a sneak peek into what's coming. For the past 6 months, we've been creating a new list of spells to revamp the magic system. We've been super excited to share them with you, but we want them to be perfect. And so we didn't have time to finish it for this release. But there's more. New game campaigns are in the works. Each one is an epic tale in Diratia, testing your strategies and leadership. Gather your team, plan your moves, and share your stories with our growing BFD community. For those who love strategy or storytelling, Diratia welcomes you. Command, lead, inspire. Are you ready to join?